I'm Brooke Shaden, a fine art photographer, and in this series, I'm sitting down with artists to talk about greater creativity before taking them on a photo shoot to push their art to new levels and capture an image that speaks to the limits they want to break free from. Sapna Reddy is a nature photographer and a radiologist. She juggles two lives while also raising a family and striving for perfection in everything she does. Having a dual career and being multi-passionate can be daunting. But Sapna takes the stress of doing it all and turns it into her life's great purpose. Watch as she creates an image about the duality in all of us.
I think my journey into photography was I just stumbled into it. It wasn't something that I sought out, but it's like photography found me rather than the other way around. I am a radiologist by profession and training. During medical school, I would often go out into the outdoors quite a bit. And the love for nature was fostered at that time. Nature helped to compensate the stresses that I was facing otherwise. And achieve a better balance in life.
How do you feel that having these dual careers has impacted your identity and having to balance all of those things?
When I'm sitting in my chair in radiology, and I get tired of reading cases, there is something to look forward to, that trip to Moab or, something that gets me excited, right? And I'm like, well, after I finish this week of radiology, I have something else to look forward to. So it's not like day after day, you're not doing the same thing.
When I look at you, when I think about you, I think about duality and this idea of being multi-passionate, and I wonder how that plays into who you are as a person, being multi-passionate, having all of these different things that you pull from. How does that make you who you are?
As a radiologist, I hope that being able to establish the diagnosis will lead to treatment and subsequently cure. By the same token, the images I generate in photography, I hope, are some sort of a visual therapy.
You mentioned that your images are in hospitals. What led you to pursuing that path?
When I went to the hospital and saw the art on the walls, it was so abstract and non-emotive, and I was like, well, we're doing such a great job of focusing our effort on trying to heal the human body, but then we create such an ambiance of fear almost, like the fluorescent whitewashed walls and this ambivalent art which nobody can really connect to. And so I went to the board of directors and I said, the experience that I have when I spend time in nature is very healing. Wouldn't it be wonderful if we could present images of nature on the walls and, kind of warm things up? Why does it have to be this cold, white, harsh environment? Why can't it be earth tones and warm and welcoming? Having an ambiance for healing would make even the body heal better, right?
Is it a normal part of your process to go out in nature and see what you like, or do you tend to have a theme first and then you go find the location that fits it?
I definitely do my homework when it comes to which location to get to. But as to what to shoot once we get to a location, I think is entirely light dependent. It's whatever show nature is putting on that day. So the subject matter can be quite varied, even though the location is pre-selected.
Now it's just a matter of getting the angle, looking to see what's the most inspiring place. So that's what's next, I guess. What are you thinking with this spot?
I like the fact that we don't have the trees obscuring it.
Yeah.
We're far enough from it that we should be able to get a nice view of the rocks, but I think going back even farther and trying to find maybe a small pool that shows some reflections might be nice. And I bet you if we got really low down here, we should be able to, there you go, look at that awesome reflection.
Oh my gosh, you can see the peaks.
Yes.
from right here.
Yes, and so we would put the reflections, and then this whole thing would just lead right up to the rocks there.
You check it with your phone?
I think it just gives me an idea. We have to get really low, obviously, almost touching the water,
Yeah.
but I think it works great.
Are there any other spots that you would consider?
I think so. There's one other puddle over there. Let's go
Okay,
check
let's
it out.
go look.
So this one is bigger, so I think we can incorporate a lot more of the vista here.
Yeah.
We get low. Oh yes, look at that.
Oh my gosh.
Isn't that amazing?
Yes, I would choose this one because I love that reflection.
I think it also makes it seem like you're at a very big water body. Nobody could guess it's this tiny puddle.
Absolutely not.
The wide angle gives us that advantage. It basically takes something that's really tiny and makes it such a large part of the foreground that it
Yeah.
really draws the viewer in.
It
But what I
does.
like about this is it isn't diminishing the size of our mountains, and the fact that we are reflecting them again in the water increases the prominence for the rocks in the composition. So I think it works great.
I think it works great too, and it really ties in the theme that we're going for here of duality with the reflection, the top and the bottom, the upside and the downside, and I think it's so
quiet
beautiful.
image. It's a quiet image too.
Very,
isn't it?
yeah.
Very peaceful.
Yeah.
Brooke, come on over. There's a beautiful long shot here.
Oh, I love that there's so many puddles here.
I love the reflection there, and with the long lens you could even isolate just the reflection and just have it between the rocks even.
Oh, beautiful. I
Really?
never would have thought to look at this perspective.
There are so many compositions here. It's like each puddle is offering its own.
Every single one is
Yeah.
so special. Like, I want to go see what this thing does.
The one thing that happens as we get closer to the mountain is it becomes more difficult to integrate the top and the bottom. You
Yes.
notice when we were back there, the farther away you are, the more complete the picture becomes. And as we get closer to the base of the mountains, it becomes more a shot of just the reflection and not the
Yes.
whole scene. There are definitely long lens and wide angle shots to be had here. So.
Yeah. Well, I get your camera. Let's see. I want to see what
Yeah.
it's like.
So Brooke, I think for the first shot, we're going to use this puddle.
Yeah.
I say we get really, really low,
Uh-huh.
and then literally like touching the water. And
Yeah.
see how when you get a low perspective, you can see a lot more of the mountain,
Yes.
right?
Yeah. That makes perfect sense.
And that's how I would shoot it. Once we get that angled light, because right now the sun is kind of too high, and so the way it's illuminating, the angle is not right.
Yeah.
We will get a better angle as it approaches the horizon, and it also changes the color of the rock. The
Yes.
reds will deepen, so they'll deepen on the rock, they'll deepen all around us, and I think they'll contrast with the white of the trees.
Yeah.
And that'll be a very pretty picture. Right now it looks a little bit harsh because everything's kind of, there are stark shadows still.
Okay. Great. I'm excited. And you're on the A7R3?
Yeah, for now.
Okay.
Probably switch to the A7R4 pretty soon.
Okay.
I go low, see how wide that gets?
Wow. Wow.
Isn't that something?
This is the good stuff. I like this.
You see how over here we have this bank just touching the
The
rock.
reflection.
Yeah,
rock
the reflection.
Yeah.
And also, depending on your angle, your cactus might obscure a part of the reflection or whatever. So I think it's important to pay attention to what is happening and achieve that visual separation for everything that's going on.
Yeah.
So for example, if you look at this image, see now we have a
So now
gap.
there's a gap.
Right. We have a gap between the bank and the reflection, and nothing is being obscured. The horizon might need a little bit of adjustment here. But I think paying attention to making sure that nothing in your foreground is obscuring an important part of your background composition is key.
That makes a lot of sense, and I would never have noticed that. But I do know instinctively that this image is more satisfying than the other image, and it makes a big difference because not only is it not touching, but you're also creating more of a sort of contrast right here, and
Exactly.
it draws the eye in better.
Absolutely.
I will be doing something like driving my kid home from school, and I look out the car window and see the sunset and get very, very excited about it. And I'm truly happy seeing the colors in the sky. And I'll turn to my daughter and say, "Do you see that? Isn't that beautiful?" And she looks at me and she goes, "Mom, it's the sunset. It happens every day."
This is also my life. I get it.
Right? So I think because we have found something so simple as a sunset, as a source of joy.
Yes.
We got to glean those little moments where we can find happiness. And it's not some major event that needs to occur, but it's just little things that matter. And those moments add up, and then it ends up being a happier life overall.
Also, there's this sense that we can't try a lot of things, that we're supposed to, between, these ages, 18 to 22, we're supposed to find exactly what we want to do and stick with it forever. And there's a lot of pressure, I think, to do that, to have that one thing, to go to college, to study this thing, to always do that. And I think breaking free of that is the only way to help free others from that mentality and to just explore. Exploration is the meaning of life. If there is a meaning of life, it's to explore yourself and your surroundings, your world, and other people. And I love this quote from Walt Whitman that I think is so perfect for what we've been talking about. And he says, "Do I contradict myself? Very well then, I contradict myself. I am large, I contain multitudes." I actually have a tattoo of it there, because I think that we need to embrace that we all have so many sides and so many passions and so much life in us. We can live 1,000 lives in one if we really want to. So I'm just so grateful that you've shared your story of how you have found a way to be multi-passionate with dual careers and so much duality in you, and how you can make that a beautiful, vibrant thing.